America, the great leaders, they were all, in many regards, homeschooled. And the public system, simply because they want to control the funds, they're threatened. They don't realize it's a greater threat to hurt the homeschool movement. But I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it took a long time for Jefferson, 18 years that he fought to get public schools going. He finally convinced them we need it for national defense. Soldiers need to know which way north is and how many feet a mile is, and so they could. In the first school he funded in Washington, he funded half of it out of his own pocket, and he got another like 20 people to contribute $5 a year towards it.
Well, I think for homeschool, a lot of us homeschoolers are not opposed to, public education or established education system or whatever. But the fact is, the failure has been so immense on the public sector that this creative movement to challenge and to give some competition to the public sector, I think is vital to the American spirit. It's what made us great. We do it not simply because the systems fail, but we also think of it as a positive way to educate your kids, to really prepare them for the crazy world they're going into. And I don't think public schools are doing that very efficiently. But what happened,
especially big city public schools that are...
Yeah, well, the worst, yeah. I mean, obviously there are good schools. In a place like Sparta, no doubt there's where Gloria's family lives. They're very happy with the schools there, but we have friends who really are absolutely opposed to all conception of public education. But frankly, when has it ever really been universally successful?
Well, when the funding was direct from the land, and they didn't have to qualify or means tested or something, it was just direct. But now it's becoming less so. And also, people should be able to keep what they earn so that they have enough money that they can take the time and have the resources to educate their own children.
Well, that's the fact. In Pennsylvania we have the property tax linked into the public system, so most people don't actually have kids in school, or if you don't have kids, and if you do have kids, of course, and you're homeschooling, your taxes are going to educate your neighbor's kids in a system you think is defunct, and you can't use that money to raise your own kids in the way you think is good.
Well, it's not just that money, but that benefits all people having an educated class. But you're right, and having no taxes on labor or on the improvements means that land speculators would be contributing more of a fair share, and not just homeowners.
I can say my piece now.
Yeah, nice and loud at the camera.
It is common knowledge among homeschoolers in this country that the Alaskan government in the education sector tricked the homeschoolers into using state curriculum by the insidious example of the charter schools. So the charter schools were offered, it was like a bait, and they offered free curriculum, free computers, and too much handwork and busy work. And this is not benefiting the homeschool movement. Teachers are now more controlled, mothers are more controlled by the state, curriculum has to be approved, and the movement has suffered, what would you say, has gone backwards in Alaska, a setback. The movement has suffered a tremendous setback in Alaska. And homeschoolers all over this country are very concerned and now very wary of the charter school movement. Thank you, Alaska.